Mates, brothers, and other ocean goers, welcome to episode 3 of Cretonians to 1000, where we will be covering security and industry to 350 population. Now, the first three objectives here, the three objectives for this episode are to train our garrison militia, import weapons, establish an industry with 100 employees, because there's a juicy production buff. And that's pretty much it, yeah. Yeah, we want to be fully secure from raids, so let's go ahead and start the clip here. Now, I'm just looking at our current situation, yeah. Flexing our food, so I'm like, oh yeah, we have enough food. A bunch of people want to join, but we still have a lot of AFK people, like unemployed people, right? So let's go ahead and just tell them to become a militia, right? So we want 100% training, and I'm not sure what sort of equipment I get here for them. It looks like I'm going with leather armor and warhammers. Probably. Yeah, with Cretonians, they have honestly not the best morale or the best combat stats, right? Because they are pacifists, but to remain pacifist, to remain peaceful, we need to have a strong military. Okay, you need to have a strong defense. So what are you gonna do? Just be a pushover the rest of your life? No, that's not it. Okay, so here we are. We're gonna be building a massive military. I might even just draft everybody. I might just put in some mandatory military service. You know, just like the countries that border some unsavory neighbors, right? Shout out to those countries. You guys know who you are. I don't necessarily know who you guys are, actually. A few of them come to mind, but that's it, yeah. Alright, so I think the design here for the barracks is honestly rather atrocious. Yeah, I think it ends up looking terrible. Like, I don't know, is there a better way to put this? Or actually... Oh no, it ends up looking symmetrical, look at this. And it's not even round, guys. It doesn't give us roundness. I'm looking at it, I'm like, what the hell? I'm so dumb. that's basically, that's the frustrated thing. The frustrated maneuver. Yeah, and look at that, there's no roundness. I'm like, ah. And that was literally my reaction. That's an easy fix. You just do those and then there you go, it's round. Nice and round. And we're training... How many people can fit in there? Like 16. Yeah, there you go. 16. So now I'm pointing out, like, oh, if we're arming them like this, we're gonna need access to that equipment, right? So I'm just looking around and deciding where to put the import depots, right? And we may as well put it in this block here. And I'm checking, since we're doing security, I'm like, well, okay, well, when do we unlock the guard post, right? To get some law and security all in one. And turns out it's not going to show up for anytime soon. And we'll just be, during this whole sequence, right, we're pretty much continuing on from our priorities from last episode, right? Continuing to make sure that we're not going to starve ourselves to death and that we have enough, money. We can, like, sustain ourselves, pretty much. Yeah, there we go. I'm really contemplating letting in those people, because I'm like, we have a lot of food, relatively speaking, right? 7 days of food, it's not that much, honestly. So I start a bakery there, and my thought process was, we should make bakeries, benefit from the 100 employees production buff. There we go, we reached that level. I got its name, I didn't really see it. We've unlocked our first noble, so I'm trying to decide what noble we should get. Because obviously, this early game, you have so many choices, right? But I was thinking, Cretonians, Master of Farms, it just makes sense. So I'm going to be renaming this guy after one of my nobles of Oceania, Clemency Du, 85. Right? Hopefully I didn't mispronounce his name at all there. It's tough going. It's a bit of a problem. Mispronouncing people's names, right? And I don't know if we have time in this series to build them a grand... Yeah, like a grand design, right? Like a mansion. I'd like to, but... I guess it's fine. We can just make a small one. Yeah, it would take up the greater part of an episode, and I don't know if you guys would want to actually see that. Maybe comment down below if you actually want to see that. Because, yeah, usually I've been... What have I been doing? Well, in all my series, I just cut to when it's actually out, because it takes so long for me to think of how to design it. If I could come up with a few templates... Yeah, maybe I should come up with a few templates so that we can alternate through nobles, so that they're not just getting the same design every time. Like maybe three different designs, that would be cool. Maybe I could also ask them like what they prefer, etc. You know, you're thick as hell, you know what I'm saying? It's just all something I do for the very generous people. Like it's the highest tier in my channel, and you know, I need to give them some recognition outside of video credits. And I feel like this is a cool way to do it. Making them a little mansion to immortalize them in my saves. And they also, what else happens? Oh yeah, they can also download the save once the series is done. Which reminds me of the Oceanian Empire. I need to finish that up so they can download, like all my members can download. Now here, I decided since we increased the bakery, right? The bread production, we're gonna need to increase the inputs as well. You know, so I'm just lining up there because I didn't do the grid beforehand, which was silly of me. Just lining it up, I'm drawing in the grain farms along the river. Now this is... Yeah, farming along the river is... It's fine for this early bit. But later on... Well, ideally you wouldn't be farming anymore, but later on... You need to actually set up some water infrastructure. Now, good news for you guys is... I think I do a bit of that in this video. Spoiler? Yeah. Another spoiler. Whoops. But, yeah, you guys should... If I didn't... I probably spoiled it in the thumbnail again. I always do that. Yeah, okay, you guys should also let me know. What do you guys think about the thumbnails? Like, are they okay? Or did I spoil too much? They're usually... The background... I mean, yeah, it's usually just in the background of the thumbnail anyway. Like front and center is the episode title, and then in the background is like a screenshot of the base, not the base, the city, right? Yeah. They're gonna get these grain farms going, and I'm just looking at the numbers. Yeah, so we have 32 people in the bakery. We need 100 in one industry to get that buff. So I'm 32% of the way there. We got our first criminal. Oh well, whatever. It's fine. No worries about that. How many... We have quite a number of unemployed people there, 65. Also, I just noticed that I have the FPS counter on, so hopefully that's not too discounting. What? Distracting? Yeah, I forgot to turn that off because I was testing some was checking my Bannerlord FPS. Mountain Blade Bannerlord FPS, yeah. Anyway, you notice, I don't know if you noticed here, but warehouse, like warehouse storages is always, yeah, we're going into a bit of a problem with storage. And another spoiler, okay, I caught it this time. I actually fixed that. I don't know how, is that gonna be in the thumbnail? No, I think the farms, I have a feeling the farm designs are going to be the hook, you know? I'm not sure if they're the most efficient farm designs either. I feel like Cretonians wouldn't really care. Would they? Cretonians don't really strike me as the type to care about their farms looking... No. I feel like they'd care more about their farms looking good than being super efficient, because they're already good at farming, right? I could be wrong. Maybe the other species... No, the other species wouldn't care at all. They probably wouldn't even farm. I mean, humans would care about efficiency. Tilapis would just be herding, so, you know, doesn't really matter. Lindorians should never farm. Garthemis never need to farm. Amoebias just need pastures and, I guess, orchards, so it's completely different. Yeah, it's literally just Cretonians and humans of a farm, right? And here we have a slaver show up. Nah, it's completely useless to me. Yeah. And here I'm like, oh, 46? Maybe we can make the grain farming the industry that benefits from a production bonus, right? Because here, like, yeah, the bakers is only 32. The bakers, there we go. The bakers are there's only 32. Right, so I'm cranking them out, but like, I need a lot of these buildings. There's 8 per building, 8 bakers per building. What's that? What's 100 divided by 8? And that's... I can't do these maths, dude. Okay, here we got the import depot importing grain. Just to... yeah, make sure we don't collapse, you know, starve ourselves to death, because we haven't increased the grain production just yet. And poor Clem doesn't get a house just yet. It's very sad. We did manage to increase our grain, what? No, not grain producers. Our bread producers, our bakers to 64 people. And here I'm just trying to sell stuff to finally secure trade with our eastern neighbor. Because the western dude is sort of griefing our prices. Pretty sure he's had a monopoly for far too long. I don't need these. Yeah, I didn't need those things necessarily anyway, right? Like stone and trees. We have a lot of that already here. We'll just be getting... there we go. To Legati. Unlocked all sorts of lore items, lore buildings. And the first thing I'm going to do is build a guard post to arrest some unruly people. And I don't know, I don't remember what size I go with here. Okay, seems like I go with a small. And probably build a couple of them, or just the one, yeah. Or, I mean, we're importing all the goods anyway. You can see we're out of money. First of all, that's because of... yeah, what was it? What was that? I was really pointing out the 64 there. First of all, that's because we're importing grain. But also the materials for the noble house, right? Pretty expensive. But it's mostly, I think, most of the money is probably going to the grain. Yeah, look at that, 8 grand. 8,000 denarii. Denarii? Probably denarii. went straight to purchasing grain. Because, yeah, that was a quick... There's a quick little hover there, but... We're only producing half the grain that we need to upkeep all those bakers, yeah. And honestly, if you play this wrong, your run could end right here. Like, I'm not even... I wish I was joking. But yeah, if you're trolling, if you do a little trolling, it ends up really bad. So make sure you're on top of your production, which is why I don't actually endorse grain farming. I don't endorse bakers for beginners. If anything, beginners should just go for herds. For herding, right? Because it's just, you set it and forget it, right? Maybe diversify the animals that you're herding so they don't all die to one infection, right? But it's a lot easier, like that or fishing, right? Those two things. Build it and then it's fine. Produces food every single day, pretty much, right? I think. Fish produces food every single day. I'm not sure about herds. But it's a lot less complicated than farming grain and then making sure you have enough grain and then, you know what I mean? Not having too many bakeries, having to import the grain if you run out. Yeah, it's all a mess. Now, I was waffling that whole time while I was building the... whatchamacallit? The grain farm there. So I went with a radial design, right? Like a circular design. And here's the reason why, with some cutouts. And the reason why is this. I'm going to build canals through the... Yeah. Through the farm, right? Now, I don't know if this is the most efficient way. It probably isn't. There is a guide. It might be old now. Might be outdated, yeah. But last time I saw, okay. I see these videos, but I don't actually watch them. Okay, so that's the problem. Maybe I should be watching the guides. My excuse is I don't want to watch the guides and then just copy their advice, you know what I mean? And forgetting to credit them, because... Yeah, and also it's fun learning things on your own, right? Figuring things out by yourself. So if you are a meta abuser, right? An enjoyer of the most effective tactic available, then there's some people out there that are doing the work to find the most efficient way to do things, right? If you came to this channel for that, then I'm sorry. But yeah, by now you should know that this is not the most effective way to do things. Okay, I would say this is the most fun way to do things for me, not necessarily for you. You know, you should make your own fun. But then again, why would you listen to someone younger than you on how to live your life? So, 64 homeless. Yeah, 64 homeless, that's kind of bad. So I decided to put some housing there so the people that work at the water pumps could find some place to live, and also they're going to be farming up the place. And we're just building the basic services over there, yeah. Now, if you haven't noticed, there's literally only 6 Cretonians away. Only 6 Cretonians away from a population goal. We're making a crap ton of bread. We have so much bread. And here we go. Yeah, I decided to also export bread from that warehouse. Now, right now, this is like, yeah, micromanaging the warehouses, right? But pretty soon you'll see the actual, like the main way to fix that. Like what to actually do. Instead of having a bunch of tiny warehouses. I mean, you can still have them. And I'd argue they're important. But maybe instead of these really small warehouses, it would be better to have medium-sized warehouses and then a massive one, right? For long-term storage. Good lord. As you can see there, there's nice fertility from the canals, right? Oh, so fun watching them build the farms. And then here we go, 66 employed in like total across the grain farms. I'm like, okay, if it's that simple, then, you know, we may as well copy this design over like once or twice more, and then there we go. That's our 100 population production industry. Oh no, sorry. That's our 100 population industry. And we reached 350 population. Very nice. I'm not sure what percentage it is, but I think it's like plus 0.5 production or something. So per worker, let's say humans, I don't know, humans are really good at, not really good, not as good as Cretonians. Okay, amoebias, I guess. No? Amoebias also. Yeah, let's say an average Songs of Syx resident farms and produces like what, like 1 grain. Then the 100 worker production bonus, the 100 worker production buff is like 50%. So that worker is like getting 1.5 grain for you instead of 1 grain. That's pretty significant, especially since Cretonians also get I think it's 0.5. I don't quote me on the numbers, guys. I'm not the numbers guy. But it's like that, okay? You just know that 100 people working in an industry is good. There you go. Unless it's a warehouse or janitors, because those don't. There's even industries. Those don't get. They don't produce. Do they? They don't produce. No, they don't get a buff. 30. Okay. Each farm can have 30 people. I think, yeah, these farms are like super inefficient in terms of workers, but I didn't care. I just wanted that buff. -1. Yeah, there we go. 101 workers. And I'm just waiting. I'm like, where's the pop-up, bro? Where's the 100 workers? Here we go. So we now employ over 100 in our grain farms. Combined experience is boosting performance. And it'll remain this way until we reach 600 population. I'm just trying to check. I'm like, well, where is it? So, like, come on, bro. I think it's skill. I think that's what the thing is. Yeah, it's yet to update in the farms we just, you know, built. If only I knew where to hover. 209% skill, yeah. Obviously, we did some research to improve the skill of them, and I'm pretty sure all of the bonuses are additive instead of multiplicative, right? What does that mean? It's like 0.5 plus 0.5 instead of like multiplying everything by 1.5 every single time. Does that make sense? You guys know maths. You guys are smart. Alright, here, this is the part of the video Or I think I super speed this bit to like 2 times. Because good lord, it takes me ages to design round buildings, okay? So here is the location of a massive grain silo. Now, I wish my blueprints could be... Yeah, I wish my blueprints could have been saved over from the last version of the game, because I would have just copied that over. I would have just used the large grain silo blueprints already made. Because here, I have a time constraint, right? Like, I don't want to bore you guys to death with trying to design this blueprint and failing over and over again. I try to tell myself that we could never be more than friends. What? I made this joke already? I think I was in a different recording, yeah. That's never gonna see the light of day. But anyway, this... this warehouse... I make so many mistakes. I don't know if you've already noticed one, but I make several. And yeah, it does my head in. I don't know. I don't care what the most efficient design is. Like, I'm not getting to it in this. You can see, like, you can see how many times I delete things, rebuild it, delete things, rebuild it. I think this whole thing is sped up by like 2 times or something. This whole bit, I think it lasts for like 5 minutes. So, okay, we may as well talk about why I'm doing this? Yeah. So the reason why I'm making a massive warehouse is so we don't have to think about storage for a long time, right? And, well, to me, it makes sense to centralize storage somewhat. Especially when you're dealing in items with large quantities like grain and other farmed materials, right? It just makes sense to have a massive storage, massive efficient storage. I mean, this is not an efficient storage, but they're Cretonians, okay? No sweat. Okay, so we're just finishing up here. I'm not sure if this is going to line up since I had to recover from a couple stitch ups there. Classic stitch up. But anyway, 44,800 storage. I'm like, yeah, I give up. And now we're just building the grain silo. There you go. Bleeding all these trees. Get it going. And turning off all the carpenters so that we actually have a workforce to build this warehouse. And also, Cretonians suck at warehousing, dude. Yeah, I mean, warehousing and crafting. Cretonians suck at crafting, so you're better off putting them in the things that they're actually good at, which is actually dragging stuff around. They're actually really good at warehousing, honestly. So I think that's a recent change. And they have a lot of... Obviously, they're really good at farming. And they can still bake, so you don't need anybody else. But pretty much, the plan with Cretonians is to farm, and then to develop their farmed things, right? Their agricultural produce into refined goods. So what do I mean by these? Turn grain into bread. You turn cotton into fabric. And what else? What else do they do? You turn... Oh yeah, you turn either grain or fruit into alcoholic drinks. And if you farm herbs, then you can turn bread and herbs into rations, which they're also really good at doing rations, right? And there we go. The warehouse is complete. And we're just setting it up. 554 crates. I don't know how big you guys make your warehouses. I'm pretty sure if you take your time, you guys would easily build a more efficient warehouse, especially if it's square, right? Or rectangular. But here in Cretonian land, Cretonians to 1000, they like round buildings. Even though it's such a pain to design quickly, at least. Actually kind of fun to design it. But having to design it with a time crunch, obviously, you know, it's less fun. It sucks the fun out of it. And here's another thing. Yeah, here's another tip. Make sure you build your janitors and spread them out. Otherwise, your city just crumbles to dust. Because there's no one maintaining it. And janitors are really important to society, guys. Now here, I'm just pointing out, yeah, look at this, guys. So we have 100 people in the grain farms. We have 64 people in the bakers. We've got a massive storage. We're pretty much secure because we're training people. Getting rid of these... No? Getting rid of these carpenters because we don't need them. Did I ever show the grain? Did I ever show how much grain we're producing? I may have waffled over it. Yeah. Just setting up the consequences there of crimes, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Alrighty, so I've just gone back in the clip there for, yeah, just a bit. And yeah, we're producing like 900 grain a day on average. And we only use like 400. Yeah, I mean, even though we had an event, yeah, we had an event of like bountiful harvest, but I'm not sure if that already applied to that number there on the screen. I don't know. Either way, all we need to know is that we're producing enough grain to offset the bakeries. And that brings me to another point that's super important, is you need to watch out for droughts, right? With farms and stuff. So having a massive grain storage, it prevents us from you just dying from events like that. That makes sense, like, historically and stuff, right? Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And thank you especially to these lovely and generous people here for sponsoring my internet bill. Yeah, that's what I've been saying. Next episode, we will be covering military and admin to 500 population. So, look forward to that. No more love on the run. Authorized by Ocean Man of Oceania.